Good morning, everybody. This is dqtattoos back with another video for you today, and I'm sure you've noticed that my setup has changed just a little bit. I spent some time this past Sunday reorganizing my office, and I may do a little tour of that at some other point in time, but for today I decided to bring out these watercolor pencils. These are made by Staedtler. These are the Ergosoft Aquarelle watercolor pencils. These are pretty old. I bought these several years ago at Office Depot. I've used them a little bit, as you can see. Some of these are quite a bit shorter than the others. But nowadays they make these where they actually have a new technology, I guess you could say. It's called the anti-break technology. And what they do is they take the filament, I guess, or the lead. It's not really lead, I guess, but the inside color part, and they coat it in a layer of plastic, and then the wood is around that. And that layer of plastic is kind of like a shock absorber, I guess you'd say. If you're familiar with Prismacolor pencils at all, they tend to, if you drop them from any reasonable height, the lead or the filament or whatever it's called will shatter inside of the pencil. So when you go to sharpen it, it'll be really easy. You'll notice a lot of these pieces will fall off and break, and it can be very frustrating if you have to sharpen it over and over and over again, and you waste a lot of the pencils. So that is apparently a new feature I've seen in other videos. It's not in these ones, so I guess if you buy them nowadays, you'll get that. We're also going to use a water brush. I think this is a Sakura or Koi, or I'm not sure what brand this is, but there's a little water brush to test those out. So let's go to my desk and we'll start having some fun with these. Alright, so here are our Staedtler Ergosoft Aquarelle pencils. These are watercolor pencils. You can draw and color with these just like any other color pencils, or you can use water to do watercolor with these. These are pretty neat. I actually bought these several years ago. Haven't really used them a whole lot. You can see I have messed around with them some, but nowadays they actually make these a little bit different. I'm not sure if you can see around the tip here, but on the newer pencils you'll see a little bit of a white plastic in between the lead and the wood, and that is their anti-break technology that they call it, that makes it so, I'm sure if you've used Prismacolors or any of the softer lead color pencils, that if you drop them, it basically shatters that inside of the pencil, so that when you go to sharpen it, it breaks off very easily, and it can make it very frustrating because then you have to sharpen it over and over and over again. So in their newer pencils, I guess they've added that technology. I bought these, like I said, many years ago, so I don't think they have that, but they're still pretty cool to use, and you'll still get the main point of this video. So let's grab some paper and let's test these things out. And to test out our Staedtler watercolor pencils, I've got some Canson XL watercolor paper here. It is 140 pound. I just get this from Walmart. It's reasonably priced, works okay. For my more important paintings, I'll use something a little better like the arches, but for the purpose of this video, I think this will work just fine. I've already got the sheet ready to go. We're going to test out the colors up top, and then I do a little traditional rose. We'll see how well this works for some tattoo flash. Alright. And I've got a watercolor, not a water, well, a water brush. I've got a water brush here we're going to use with this. You can just use a regular brush and water if you like. I like this just because it's all in one, and I imagine that if you're going to be using something like these watercolor pencils, you're probably not going to have water on hand. They're kind of designed for portability and travel, so why not use a good water brush? So it looks like this is pretty low. I need to fill this up with water real quick. We'll be right back. Alright, my water brush is filled, and we've got our colors. Now these Staedtler color pencils, one of the cool things that they've got is this is how the package looks. closed. It's a nice plastic case. Each pencil fits in its own slot, so it's very well organized. When you open it, they've designed it so that you fold this back, it snaps together, and it makes a stand. So I always thought that was pretty neat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a mark with each color along the top of the page here, and then we'll go over each of them with our water brush. So now you can see we've got all 12 of our colors laid out. I'm just going to go across each one of these. Kind of drag that across the paper here. Alright, so there you have it. There are 12 colors all blended out. And I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with how concentrated they stayed near the ends there. They're pretty solid, so I'd say if you did color in your solid areas pretty well, that you'd be okay. They blend out very well. I mean, you can get a nice, very light blend. I do wonder though if you have to start out, you know, dark. Let's see here. This would be this color right here. So let's just do some very light coloring, and we'll see. So I'm sure you can barely see that. Right there, I mean, you can go extremely light with these, and you still don't see any of the pencil marks, so that's a good sign. I like that a lot. So you can go pretty much as dark as you want, concentrated all the way to like super light if you just want to press really light with your pencil. I think you're good. Alright, so now I'm going to color in this rose here. And I think this is not the red that I wanted to use. That's alright. Okay, so I like mine to be super concentrated. We'll see how this turns out. It's hard to see with the angle of the light. But that's pretty solid. I like that a lot. Now, we'll see how it blends. So what I'll do is I'll start with a darker green near the edges here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly kind of fade that like I would just with normal color pencils. Make it get lighter towards the center. And then I'm going to take the lighter green. I'm going to start near the darker areas. Move that towards the center. I'll actually pull that over into the other leaf too, so we can have some more room to see how the blend goes. Alright, so you want to go from dark to light. I'm going to start here with this dark green. And I mean, that's a decent little blend. I think that the darker pigment kind of overtook that, so probably use a lot less of the darker green if you're wanting to blend out to a lighter color. Let's try one more. This time I'm going to start with just my darker green. I'm going to blend that out completely. I'm going to go back over it with the lighter green. See if that makes a difference. Not really. So I mean, you definitely need to wait, I think, until your first layer is completely dry before you go over it with another color. Otherwise, it just doesn't lay the pigment down very well. And nothing says you even need to apply the water at all. I mean, if you just want to use the colors, if you think they're bright enough in color pencil form, that's fine. And if you don't apply the water, you will see streaks from the pencil. And as soon as you apply it, as you can see in most of these, that it kind of takes the pencil marks away, which is pretty cool. See if we can get an even lighter coat just by not pressing as hard. So that's pretty cool. These are the same colors right here next to each other. And if you just press lighter, you can get a lighter shade. Same pencil, two different shades. Let's see if we can do a fade. So spit shading is a big thing when doing tattoo flash. People want to have that nice clean fade. And I think, as long as you use your brushes well, you can get that pretty easily. I think that's a pretty decent fade there. I'm going to try it with black. See, your red's not completely dry yet, so we'll hold off on that particular spot, but let's just add a little bit of black here. to take a little bit of water off my brush. And there is the black fade. Now that I don't really care for quite as much because, as you can see, it just kind of washes out too much. It doesn't stay really concentrated, like right here in the middle there. So I probably would not use this like on a really nice sheet of flash that I wanted to hang up, just because of that. But you know, the other colors work great. If you're just practicing with your drawing, you want to have something colored to show people, then you've got that. But as far as painting actual flash sheet, I'd probably go with actual watercolors if you wanted it to look nice. These are really cool product. They work well and they blend well, and I'm sure doing different styles of watercolor they probably work better than they do with like tattoo flash. But they're pretty cool. They're very handy. They're very portable. I love how this makes a stand here. That's really cool. So yeah, they're neat to have. If you're interested in trying out some watercolor pencils, definitely recommend this brand. There are a lot of different brands out there, so give them a try. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you know of anybody else who might be interested in this video, please share it with them. That is all for today. We will see you next Wednesday. Have a good one.